Welcome to The Mental Fight, a safe place to ignite hope and peace, where we talk all about authentic feelings, even in the depths of life's curveballs. I am passionate about emotional and spiritual health. Regardless of the season you are in, you are worthy, safe, heard, and loved. Together and with God, we can overcome and embrace our next joyful steps, one day at a time. Let's get started. Hey, friend. So, this week I was really praying hard about what to talk about. And since body image is a huge part of my story, and I'm sure many of yours as well, I want to touch on it more. Body image is something so tender and a sensitive topic for many people. So, as a disclaimer, if you're battling any type of eating disorder, some of this content may be sensitive. If talking about body image, food, or exercise is going to trigger you, I want you to be aware and discern if this will hinder your healing and health journey in mental health. This won't go too deep, but I wanted you to be aware. Many of us have had lifelong battles with our appearance, size, and how that makes us feel on the inside. We may have endured trauma. We may have been criticized. A lot of us deal with health issues that may also affect our weight, especially as our bodies change as women. Perhaps we've gone through cycles of overeating, undereating, over exercising, or not exercising enough. The balance is hard. And I've experienced all of those things at different times. And all of those have messed with my mental health. Perhaps comments and remarks have negatively shaped us into the people we are and women we are today. And maybe some of us still hold judgment. We're still holding grudges or habits and patterns and routines that we're just accustomed to over time. When we see a number on a scale or reflection in the mirror, it can be a daily battle, especially when we unexpectedly gain weight and the old thoughts and patterns set in. My story goes back decades. I wouldn't say I was a chubby child, but I had my moments. And I was always one of the tallest people, if not the tallest person in my class. When I hit a growth spurt, I evened out and lengthened out a little bit, which helped. But I was always aware of my weight growing up. I was often told to be careful, so I was. I knew what I wanted to be and what I didn't want to be. And I put pressure on myself. I remember wanting to go on a diet when I was 8 or 9 years old. I wanted to be a smaller kid, but I also knew I was built differently. And when I got my back brace, I instantly felt heavier, even when I wasn't. Even if the rest of me under my plastic brace was normal, I was unaware of what my body really looked like underneath. From 11 to nearly 14, And I also think that played a huge role in my body image issues. I would say ninth grade was the first and only year when I was confident with my body weight. I no longer wore my brace during the day, and I felt pretty good in my skin. But after that, I slowly gained weight each year, probably around 10 pounds per year, but I wasn't growing in height anymore. And I pretty much stopped growing when I got to junior high. So by senior year of high school, gaining weight felt like a gradual process. And since I'm just above 5'8", I didn't notice until I did. And all of a sudden, I felt heavy out of nowhere. And others noticed too. I hid beneath big baggy sweatshirts, and while I always hated my weight and appearance, it became a bit more real. And I felt less than in every way. When friends or peers would brag about their dress size, I instantly felt shame. But after my scoliosis surgery in 2006, I knew I wanted everything to change: my life, my appearance, my weight. It was a chance for my new life to begin. I initially did lose weight in the hospital because I was there for almost 7 days. And while I was recovering the next several months, everything was a blur. But later that year, I started becoming conscious about what I was eating and how my body reacted to certain things. And I would say a year or two after that, I started working out. Honestly, for the first time ever, consistently in my life. I was never an active kid or teen, and I also wasn't eating enough. And throughout the next 4 to 5 years, my eating habits and exercise definitely evolved. I would often work out twice a day, or I would work out at home and to the gym, or sometimes I would go to the gym twice. Thankfully, I started eating more around that time, but I was also burning more, and I had an active job. I was on my feet 8 to 12 hours a day, plus my workouts. But I fell in love with exercise at one point. I loved the feeling it gave me, and I loved feeling good in my skin while also being aware of every calorie counted and what I burned off. And I know I didn't have the healthiest relationship with food, exercise, or my body, but I was trying to make it work. I was trying to be thin because I didn't want to go back to the person I used to be. That was my fear. But since then, I would say a good 10 years later now, I still haven't found a great balance without being sedentary. And I know I need to work out consistently again without depriving or feeling faint, because I'm definitely eating enough. I'm definitely eating enough calories and nutrients, and I feel good about that. But I've also been yo-yoing and gaining and losing weight naturally without much movement. I don't want to obsess about my body anymore like I used to. But I do know that balance and freedom is possible. So many of us are deeply unhappy with our bodies. And so many of us focus on all the wrong things. Change is hard. Acceptance is hard. But we can treat our minds and bodies right. We can squash the harmful, negative beliefs and self talk. and truly honor our God created bodies. Our bodies sustain us, fuel us, and gives us a purpose. Each body part serves a purpose. They are gifts. Thank God each day for the body you do have. Even if you crave a new body, even if you hate the heaviness, thank Him, and slowly you'll appreciate what matters most. And when you get your mind right, then you can view yourself in an encouraging way, a healthy way. And hopefully, you'll start treating yourself with proper nutrients and begin moving your body, moving a little bit more each day. They say it takes 3 weeks for something to become a habit. However, it could take months. I think the average length is about 66 days to form a habit. So don't be hard on yourself if it takes you longer. For me, I feel like it takes at least a month, around a month. I actually started working out again a few weeks before my concussion. And while it wasn't a true habit yet, I felt excited. I could feel and see a difference in my mind, my brain, my body, and I was starting to stick to workouts 3 times a week, which for me is huge because I have been extremely sedentary the last few years. Eating right is huge and will properly fuel us, but the movement is everything, and having both will sustain us and propel us forward. Moving is life giving. Moving is healing. It decreases anxiety, depression, and when your heart and blood is pumping through your body, you'll feel like a new person. I know I did. And you'll notice so many health benefits. And it's so great for prevention for so many things. I want you to know that you can take baby steps. And remember this: something is better than nothing. That's something I had to relearn and teach myself. But it's so true. Focus less on how your body looks. I know it's hard, but when you focus less on how your body looks, although that's a byproduct and it's important, but it's about how you feel. Steward the body God gave you and focus on what you can control. Create a doable plan and set yourself up for success rather than feeling like a failure or a letdown, because you're not. While I do believe weighing yourself at times is helpful and a good baseline, if weighing yourself triggers you, focus on how your clothes are fitting and how you feel and how you look in the mirror, and the rest will follow. Being thin does not equal healthiness. Take it from me. You can be at your thinnest weight and be your unhealthiest self, feel tortured, obsessive, and feel less than. That was me. Or you can be your true healthiest weight for you in mind and body. That's true health and success. And that's what I want for you too. First Corinthians 6:19 says, our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. And I think that's a great reminder to start your day. I pray you focus on nourishing rather than punishing or counting. I pray God shows you a path towards healing and healthiness. I hope you realize what's important in life and what's not. I pray you focus on what you can do today to get to the place and the person you want to be. I wish so much for you. But most of all, I wish you freedom and a happy, healthy, fulfilling life that's God honoring and God centered, and the rest will follow. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If this encouraged you, I'd be so grateful for a rating or review. Until next time, have a wonderful week.